So
Let's get
basically,
it
welcome.
going.
We'll keep this short. Basically, we're bored in quarantine, and now we're starting a podcast for y'all. So we don't really know how many people are gonna see this, but I mean, I hope you just enjoy. My name's Ollie. Good to VCU. Favorite football team in college is Florida. Favorite NFL team is the Washington Redskins, as you can obviously see. And Max, I'll let you introduce yourself.
I'm Max, 12-year football veteran, former national
Mm.
champion,
Mm,
conference champion,
mm.
former two-time all-conference team.
Talk to
Yeah.
him.
I'm a Vikings fan, so I don't know happiness, but we just moving on.
You got
Uh,
repping Wisconsin.
What's up, everybody? I'm Wanderly. I'm a Giants fan. Spent some sad years, but moving through just like Max over there. I'm also an Oklahoma fan. And yeah, let's get it going. Let's have some fun.
All
Talk
right.
about
Well,
some NFL draft.
so basically, got some couple questions. I'm gonna be a moderator, but I'm also gonna be joining in. I promise you won't hate me like Molly. So, I mean, basically, I'll just start it off. What do you guys think of your own team's draft? So I'll start off with Max.
I liked the draft. They didn't have I think they had 60 players on their roster, which was like the least in the league, and they had, I don't know, they had a ton of picks.
They had 15, I believe.
Yeah, NFL record in the 7-round era. They finally used all their picks. They usually trade all of them, and I hate that. It's really annoying to watch.
Max, walk me through. I wasn't really keeping up with you guys' picks. Walk me through some of your favorite picks, because
Well, they got Justin Jefferson in the first. I love that. I didn't think he'd fall.
yeah,
For some reason, like all the receivers fell. Like the only receiver to go early was like Ruggs to the Raiders.
Yeah.
And so I was like, in the back of my mind, I was like, could we actually get Jeudy or Lamb? But we didn't. I'm not really surprised about that, though. Didn't really think we'd get him. But I was happy with Justin Jefferson. I thought he was really good in college.
Yeah,
And you got that
definitely
corner as well.
Yeah, we need a lot of DB help. We lost all our 3 starting DBs. Or 3 starting cornerbacks: Xavier Rhodes, Trey Waynes, and Mackenzie Alexander. And so they drafted like 5 guys in the secondary, like 3 corners and 2 safeties.
that's good.
Yeah.
So what would you give your grade for the Vikings?
I give them an A. I think they did a good job.
Giants for Wanderley. What would you do?
I was happy. I felt like we filled in some of the. We obviously have a lot of holes in our defense and our offense as well, but I like the old tackle pick at the first. There was a lot of options for
Are you okay with
tackle.
missing out on Isaiah Simmons?
It hurt a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
I feel like you could have traded back and gotten the guy.
Yeah, here's the thing. I feel like we definitely, if we were gonna pick Andrew Thomas at 4th, like I feel like we could have traded, get back, gotten more picks, and still gotten Andrew Thomas like later on in the draft. Because there was 4 like
picks too.
Yeah, he wasn't even the highest graded tackle.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There was 4 really good tackles that you could have gotten in the first. That were gonna go in the first round.
And he's a good player. You just could have gotten him later.
Yeah, like we could have gotten him later for sure. I think I said Simmons. I thought we were gonna pick him, but I'm not necessarily mad at Andrew Thomas. I was looking at his film. He's a beast as well.
Mm-hmm.
But like again, there was Jared Wills.
Lineman too. Like there's always one of them that goes in the first round every year.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm not mad at it. I'm super happy getting Xavier McKinney in the second. Like that the fact that he fell to us in the second, I was super happy with that. Best
him and Peppers just booling together.
Yes, sir. Best safety in the draft for sure. So I was happy.
How would you grade the Giants?
I give us like a B plus. We got a lot of good late picks, like the 5th and 7th round, some linebackers. So I'm not too bad at the draft. I think Gettleman did a good job, which is hard to say.
Yeah, it is hard to say.
It's hard to say. He's been screwing us over a little bit, but he did a good job this year.
Yeah. So for me, obviously the biggest thing that stood out to me was obviously getting Chase Young. But even for the Redskins, for me, that's not even my favorite player that we took. I think the best player. I think the my favorite pick is Antonio Gandy Golden from Liberty because I was watching highlights on the board, didn't know who he was. I'll be honest, I did not know who he was. Then I saw he can catch them 50-50 balls. He can get separation. The only thing he really needs to work on is like his speed and getting off press coverage. But other than that, like he's a really
When
fantastic player.
what round did you guys get him?
We got him in round 4. And then obviously we had our trade that Trent Williams is now in San Francisco. I thought it was all right. You know, get a third round next year, 5th pick this year. I mean, it wasn't special. It's because we handled things late with Trent, and plus, he was even going to go to the Vikings, but then he stopped the deal. He was like, I don't want to go to Minnesota.
I didn't
Yeah,
really
that
want.
was
He's kinda
interesting that he
old.
did that. Because like it's not like the Vikings are a team. That's a team that can compete. Like they've been getting to the playoffs. I don't know why. he
Maybe
would
it's
wanna go
Kirk.
there.
He doesn't like him.
That's
Yeah.
true. Maybe it's that history.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
So,
want
I
to
mean,
play
I
for
thought,
Kirk.
Maybe he shares that hatred that you have for him.
Yeah, me and Trent Williams, like fucking
But
bros, man.
yeah. And, I mean, we also got a 5th rounder also from Seattle when we traded Quentin Dunbar. But you know, obviously Chase Young is like the biggest thing that we have, so I'm very excited for that. And I'd probably give Washington a B plus only because they didn't really. They signed a wide receiver. I'm happy about that, but they also signed a running back, which in my opinion didn't make sense because now we have like a 6 running back room.
Which running
And we
back?
didn't. What?
yeah, who do you?
Who?
Which
We
running back?
drafted what's his name? He's also a running back and wide receiver. We drafted Antonio Gibson from Memphis.
Oh, he's good.
Yeah, he's good, but to me,
Oh
it
yeah,
didn't
no,
really
that
make
guy's
sense.
like a
Yeah, he's
that
good.
guy's dirty. He's like an all around. Didn't he
'Cause Peter-
return for them as well?
Peterson's on his way out anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
like I feel like
it's also a warning to Geis because Geis is probably like on his last year if he has to continue with injuries. But
I'm just
Well, I mean,
saying.
like, it's just good to have like even if they want to have him split carries, just to like not risk having him get
Yeah,
injured.
because guys with his injuries and Peterson's getting old. Who else you guys have? The small
Chris-
yeah,
Is Thompson
but
Kristen
still there?
Thompson. He's still
Thompson's
there.
a free agent.
He's a free
now.
agent,
We
but
have
like
six
he's
He's
we
always
have
hurt
six,
too.
we have a 6 running back room now. We have Adrian Peterson, Darius Geis, J.D. McKissick, Peyton Barber, Antonio Gibson now, and there's another one that I'm probably missing.
bro.
Well, other than
Oh,
Peterson
Bryce
and
Love.
Geis,
Bryce Love.
I'd
How can I
rather
forget
have
about Bryce
Gibson
Love?
than the other 2 guys you named.
Yeah, I think he's probably a good. Like he'll
Like
he'll
Barber-
share.
Barber
I
and
expect
McKissick
him
will
to
probably
play a
get
lot.
cut in the preseason.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they already expect Gibson to get a lot of touches in the backfield, especially on third downs, which is going to help Dwayne Haskins. But I give them a B plus only because they also they didn't draft a corner, and we really need corners. We only have Kendall Fuller. That's about it.
Yeah, that's true.
We didn't get a tight
Actually,
end, but we made up by signing Thad Moss on free agency.
Oh, true. That was
bro, I don't know how he fell out of the draft. It's kind of
Undrafted.
insane.
So I would give the Redskins a B plus. But all right, on to the first question for everybody. Which quarterback do you think would be more successful in the NFL? Because obviously the main story was Joe Burrow, but also the shocking of Love to the Packers, and then Jalen Hurts to the Eagles, and then Tua. Which QB do you think will be more successful? I'm gonna start with you this time.
Uh, I know that Jordan Love had a lot of comparisons to like Pat Mahomes and stuff like that, and I think he could be really good under that offense and with the Packers and being taught with Aaron Rodgers and stuff. And as shocking as that pick was in the first round, I think he'll develop into a good player. And there's a lot of pressure on him right now. It's kind of like that same pressure that Aaron Rodgers felt with Brett Favre and stuff. Like he has to take over after, and maybe he'll develop into a really good player. And I think he'll be all right. A second guy besides because I know Joe Burrow, Tua, they're gonna do their thing. They have high expectations, but I also think that Jalen Hurts will be a surprise for everybody. I think they'll have him do a lot of stuff in that Eagles offense with the creativity of their coach, kind of like Taysom Hill. And
Do you think
I
he'll be a
think
more successful quarterback?
yeah, and maybe he could even develop into a better passer and eventually maybe take over and step up in those high pressure situations. Like because as we know, injuries happen, and we saw with the Eagles Super Bowl run, like the secondary guy is important. So maybe he'll get to step up and improve and be better. But I think Jordan Love may surprise everybody. I think he's gonna be a good quarterback in the league.
Mark, what do you think?
I think short term, like next 2-3 years, probably Tua. Just because I think that Miami has more stuff for him down there. They have a good. They did some stuff with the O line. They have like guys like Devontae Parker that can, catch passes for him. And I know Parker has some injury issues, but I think, last year he really popped off. And they just got Matt Breida, so I think just he has more to work with than Joe Burrow does in Cincinnati for right now. I think long term it could be Burrow, just because I think eventually they'll work around him and they'll get him what he
Build
needs.
around him.
Yeah. So I think long term it'll be Burrow, but for right now it'll probably be Tua that makes all the noise.
True.
I'm probably gonna have to agree on Max. Only being because Tua was more in a NFL ready college team than anybody else, and I think the transition.
LSU was like pretty NFL ready.
Yeah, but Nick
Yeah, I mean,
Saban.
They
I
had
think
guys
Nick Saban
flying
had
off
more
the boards.
experiences too.
like Joe Burrow's season was, they
I
played
think, in
some
my
stuff.
opinion, I think he'll make the more easier transition because Burrow really, how many seasons did he really play? Like
Two?
not like 1 or 2. Yeah,
Tua
Tua had like
really.
yeah 3.
With his
If you want to
injuries.
count his injury season, then like if you don't want to
Well, no,
count
because
that,
there was the one season where he just came in at the end of the Georgia game.
Yeah.
That wasn't a full season.
I still find it.
They have the
more
same amount of
NFL ready.
experience.
But then there's the whole thing with Nick Saban. He's been creating top NFL guys.
Exactly.
Saban's
He's
never
been in the
created
NFL.
Saban's never created a quarterback.
That's true. That's
Like,
true.
I will give
Like
you that.
McCarron had his 5
And-
minutes, but
And that quarterback coach from LSU, he's
Brady
been doing his thing. So like,
isn't he on the Panthers now? He's there.
yeah, he's on the Panthers with Matt Rule, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but I mean, I think Tua, like what Max said, he'll be more successful in the short term. But I think one that's going to surprise a lot of people is Justin Herbert. He has all the weapons he has in Los Angeles, and if he can't succeed in like Los Angeles, I don't think he can be a good
I completely
quarterback
forgot
anywhere else.
about Herbert.
I don't trust Justin Herbert for a second.
Yeah, I completely forgot about him.
That's what I'm saying. He has the weapons. He has the weapons, but if he can't make it with the Chargers, I don't think he can make it with another team.
He had so many injury issues at Oregon,
Mm-hmm.
and
I
then
agree on that.
his last season, he won a few big games. That Utah game specifically, he played really well in. But like a lot of people give him a lot of attention for that Wisconsin win, which I watched that and sadly had to watch him lose.
He did step up in that game where he had to pick up and
I
running the
watched that
ball and
game.
stuff.
Wisconsin never picked up that they were running a read option. Like it was just like open lane.
Yeah, but
And he did show some ability to like
he
break
shows some
tackles, but,
versatility.
like,
Yeah.
I mean, in the NFL, you're not getting Wisconsin's DBs aren't going
Yeah.
to the NFL. You try that shit with like Earl Thomas or anything, and you're getting smeared.
I do gotta agree with Ali with the fact that the Chargers do have a lot of weapons, and they kind of.
He has a good situation to go into.
Yeah, with Rivers playing how he was, I think that's probably the
new stadium and everything.
I just don't believe in him.
Yeah, it's hard to believe in him, but I think with Rivers was kind of the downfall of that team. He was always playing so inconsistent, and maybe Justin Herbert, not maybe his first year he'll step up, but probably second, third year he might have a good show.
Because they do have Tyrod Taylor, and I think it's sort of going to be like a Baker Mayfield situation where he's there to be replaced.
It feels bad for Tyrod Taylor because he was like, I just want to be like one of the
He's like, I
guys
just
that
want to
can
play
compete.
football, man. God damn
He's
it.
like, I want to be one of the top guys, and then they draft like QB.
I mean, he has a Super Bowl ring with
He
Baltimore.
does?
So
Oh, yeah, he
with
did.
Baltimore,
He won with
2012.
As a backup.
Yeah,
2012,
I mean,
2013.
he's just the guy. He's the backup.
I mean, he got the Bills to the playoffs. He's got his claim to fame.
Yeah.
All right,
but yeah, I honestly forgot about Herbert, but yeah, he he could step up around that good offense. They have so many weapons in the offense.
All right. All right. Well, not only the shocker of Jordan Love going to the Packers, everyone's assuming because Rodgers will retire soon or something. The other big story was Philly drafting Jalen Hurts in only the second round. Obviously, a lot of Eagles fans weren't happy. A lot of people were shocked. My question is, do you think Philly trusts Carson Wentz?
Max, you go ahead. You go
Okay.
ahead.
I just think, they've been in situations where they've needed a backup. It's happened twice, and
The second round?
both times they managed. It's happened often enough in big moments where I didn't really be like, whoa, I was just sort of like, they're just kind of looking for their Nick Foles. Carson Wentz is clearly not invincible. He got hurt in the Seahawks game this year.
And Atlanta.
That's three different playoffs where he
Yeah.
wasn't there. So I don't really knock him for taking it. And again, it's not like it's Carson Wentz's fault that he got hurt. Obviously, this year it was like a dirty hit by Clowney, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, like it's unfortunate, but it's a thing that the Eagles just have to be prepared for.
Yeah, and I mean,
and also they'll use him in different ways too. Like Wanderley said, they'll use him like a Taysom Hill. He's really athletic.
And I'm obviously really salty as an Oklahoma fan, and seeing that the NFC East now has like two of my favorite players from college. They're not on my team, but with the whole Jalen Hurts thing, like I do see the argument that maybe he could have gone later on in the draft, and maybe they could have held on that pit, like got someone better in the second round. But you got to think about it this way, like the Patriots said that they didn't want to go QB-less in the draft. Maybe the Patriots grab Jalen Hurts if they don't step up on that,
They signed a QB.
No, they signed one? Who they signed?
I don't know who it is. I got the notification though.
Oh shit! But yeah, apparently they wanted to get a QB, so maybe the Eagles, in the back of their mind, they're thinking, let's get this guy that we could utilize in the offense, and be ready as a backup as well, and in the second round, and not risk losing him later on in the draft. But I'm biased because I don't want the Eagles to succeed. So
To me, it's more of a complicated thing because I think it's because Carson Wentz obviously got that contract extension, one of the biggest in NFL history. But now it's like owned by Jared Goff. But I'm not sure how many years he has left on it now. But if this to me is like, hey, we drafted this QB, he's going to be the next Taysom Hill, but you kind of have to prove yourself in these next few seasons. Obviously, he has. Like this year, he didn't even do bad himself. He had over 4,000 yards, 27 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Like I think he'll be fine, but it's just the injuries that he's really gonna have to worry about. He might have to not really run out the pocket as much as well, even because he's known as a rusher as well, but he can pass the damn ball. So I mean, I think they're gonna try to make him more of a pocket passer.
Yeah, I mean, bro, like
I don't know.
The dude's a power lifter. Like my man's was out here. I heard like in the Oklahoma locker room, like he came in, he did I think it was 500 on squat off the first day. Like the dude is strong. Like he can handle hits. And then I think about Jalen Hurts, he's like a team captain kind of player. Like he's gonna get the respect of the players and be like a locker.
Real like Teddy Bridgewater type energy.
Yeah, for sure. Because he can lead a team. Like we saw with Oklahoma, like he will win games and then go back to the weight room to show that he's for the win.
I love that
shit.
line where he's like, I had to go to the weight room to get more work in.
Exactly.
What you're thinking about getting more work in.
The dude has great work ethic. Like he's a leader. Like
he's runner up for Heisman too.
Yeah, like he's gonna be a good player for them. It's just there's obviously the worries about him throwing the ball, and that's something he can improve in under Carson Wentz. And then obviously he's a versatile player. Like I said, they could use him all over the offense.
Yeah, and I think Carson Wentz would be much more likely to mentor him, because I think about it with Jordan Love, who's going into Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers is gonna treat him like shit. Oh my! He's gonna be so mean. Give him cold.
They didn't drop the wide receiver. He's gonna take his anger out on him.
Aaron Rodgers is gonna treat him like a mean cat. Just sort of ignoring it. You try to.
And I'm pretty sure they don't have Geronimo Allison. I'm pretty sure they don't have Geronimo Allison anymore. So I don't even know who their second wide receiver is anymore.
Did they
Marquez Valdez Scantling? Quinimius St. Brown.
Yeah,
Packers are
bro.
killing it in the name.
Devontae Adams
Mhm.
is the only weapon in that offense.
Yeah,
Oh,
and they
and
added Jimmy
and
They,
Aaron.
Graham.
they did
But
draft a running back.
they drafted a running back, which I was so surprised by.
I
Like,
can't believe they didn't
why?
draft a receiver. It was amazing.
This was the deepest receiver
So
class
many receivers.
we've
He was
had
like one of them.
since like
Uh,
whenever Odell and them was drafted. Like, this is a deep ass receiver class, and you don't get a receiver. You draft a running back.
They could have gotten T. Higgins, and they got Jordan Love.
They got.
mhm. All right.
Like, to think about that, it's like, come on, man.
All right.
And
So-
that's it. Let me just say this: the Packers were really good. They were a 13-win team, bro. Like, you get Aaron Rodgers some more
They were
weapons,
sneaky bad. They got away with a lot of bad stuff.
but like that's a 13-team win. You can't get away from them. Like, my team's only won like 11 games in the past
Well,
3
I
years.
definitely
Like,
think
that's a
adding
good
to-
team.
FC
the adding to the
chat.
defense helped a lot. Like with
Yeah.
the D line as well, Preston Smith, Zadarius Smith.
Yeah,
And
and
then
I think their
The
problem.
running game was actually working for Aaron Rodgers for once in his season.
Yeah, I think it was just like the lack of weapons. They were relying on like third string receivers to like make plays for Aaron Rodgers. It's like, and you go out and draft a quarterback and a running back when you have it, like, doesn't make any sense to me. As a
But
really good
we'll probably get back to Green Bay because I feel like we're going to talk about them more. But obviously, there was a lot of players selected, a lot of shocking ones, like we said earlier. Who do you guys think was the steal of the draft? Which team do you think got the best player or the best steal from the draft? We'll start off with Wanderley.
man. I mean, I like to think Xavier McKinney's a steal, since the Bengals, who are in need of some defensive help, and in the Lions, who are ahead of us in that category, and we somehow got him. But other than that, I think Grant Delpit also was I don't know how he felt to the Browns, and I think the Browns had a really good draft because they fill in that offensive line help, and they got a great player on at safety as well. So I think one of those two safeties falling that behind in the draft is probably one of the steals of the draft. Yeah, honestly, I mean, I don't know. I'm not. That's what I'm going with.
Max, what do you think? What do you think
I
yours
think
is?
the Cowboys getting CD Lamb.
Oh, I hate that so
What a
much.
bunch of crap.
Oh,
Mhm.
and they got Trayvon Diggs.
Yeah, I think that, like, as soon as Jerry Jeudy was also kind of a steal for the Broncos. Both those guys had no business falling to 15 and 16. Like, the Raiders picked Henry Ruggs for reasons. It's
Speed.
just because he's
Speed.
fast. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just,
And they got
Raiders
two.
ass.
They got two speedy receivers.
Yeah.
Who else did they get again? Who else did they get? They got someone really good.
Let me look at it.
I don't remember, but no, the Raiders did good. But
they got Brian Edwards, bro.
Yeah.
That's a steal. He had injury problems. They also got Liam Baldwin in the third round.
Lynn Bowden.
Lynn Bowen, sorry. He's really fast. He's a really speedy receiver from Kentucky.
Yeah,
Brian Edwards from South
quarterback the second
Carolina.
half of his senior season.
And Brian Edwards from South Carolina, he was like a top
Yeah.
receiver. He
He
just had
torched Coastal Carolina many times, bro. You have no idea.
Yeah, he was one of the top receivers in the draft. He
Yeah,
just had
it's out.
injury problems, and he fell to them in the. It was what was it?
I
third
think,
round?
in my opinion, I think my steal is going to come a little bit
I
earlier.
wasn't
I'm going to have to
done.
go with Arizona and Isaiah
I
Simmons.
wasn't done.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh,
Y'all
shit.
just ran a train into
I'll
my,
get back to mine. Go ahead.
into
Go
mine.
ahead, go ahead.
Go ahead.
But yeah, so anyway, Jerry Jeudy and CD Lamb had no business falling to where they were. So I'll include Jerry Jeudy in this too. But I think Jerry Jeudy great for Drew Lock and Denver. Denver got a bunch of weapons. They got Alberto. So Drew's reunited with his boy. And they can do a lot with all the guys they have. They have Melvin Gordon now too, Cortland Sutton.
Yeah, I think John Elway is doing a
Philip
great job.
Lindsay. Yeah, they got a lot of weapons. They can
He's
do a lot
doing a
of stuff
great
on
job
it.
setting up Drew Lock for success, man.
And then I think the Cowboys getting CD Lamb. I think total luxury pick. Just they didn't need a receiver, but he was just the best guy on the board at the time. And
Yeah.
I think it does. It's sort of like a thing for Dak Prescott to just be like, hey, we got you this, this nice new receiver. He's really good. You might want to stay for that. And well, they pair him with Amari Cooper. I think they could
And
possibly
they
be
got
quite a bit
Gallup as well.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, Gallup's a dog too.
So Cowboys could be some trouble next year with Lamb.
Yeah, don't remind me, man. It's just annoying.
Well, I'm in the NFC East, but yeah, I would say Isaiah Simmons was Arizona because listen, Carolina was off. Like everyone had Carolina picking them. They settled for a DT. I think Derek Brown from Auburn, if I said his name right. But I and then I saw a report saying Carolina passed up on him because he can play so many positions, which okay, but
that was their reason.
Yeah, but I think Arizona got a freak in Isaiah Simmons. Obviously, he's kind of a little bit small as a linebacker, but just part of the NFL, he'll get to growing and all that. But he can really play anywhere on the field. And Arizona's defense is already looking a little bit better as well with them. And they did have a good draft as well. I'm not gonna lie, but getting Isaiah Thomas, like surprisingly, that like early, I think they had him at 9.
Bro, they got IT.
They got IT. Let's go.
Next team.
Right. I think Arizona was the 9th pick, I believe. I don't remember because 8th, yeah.
Yeah, they got him at 8th.
It was a steal in my opinion. I think Arizona's gonna do really well with Isaiah Simmons this time. So plus Arizona has a really good linebacking coach as well. A lot of good linebackers have came from Arizona.
Yeah, it was funny. I texted Zach after they got that pick, and I was like, "Yo, Bird Gang got to come up. Bird Gang got to come up." But yeah, I think they're having a good offseason. I think they're obviously.
I believe so too. All right, so
Kyler Murray.
I think the Giants picking Andrew Thomas and not Isaiah Simmons is the death of Kyler Murray. Because they didn't draft a lineman until the 3rd round, and they have no O-line. And I think if the Giants had picked Isaiah Simmons, the Cardinals would have just picked Jedrick Willis and, tried to keep their quarterback clean. But I think because he was there, they were just like, we can't turn him away. And I think it could have some
this draft was more of
a
take the best player you can get type draft, rather than filling in your needs. Like Carolina went all defense for all 7 picks.
But they were they had a lot of holes on defense.
But that's also Matt Rule just sort of
they're gonna
putting
run
in his culture.
CMC and Teddy Bridgewater.
Because
they have Robbie Anderson, although I don't think he's the number 1 receiver at all.
I mean, they still have more, right?
Yeah, they have
DJ Moore. He's a dog.
DJ Moore. I think Curtis Samuels.
I had him on my fantasy team. DJ Moore is a beast.
Yeah, no, like they have good. Their offense is fine, bro. With Christian McCaffrey in them, they needed defense. I think it was a good move.
They'll be fine. And then they got that player from Baylor as well.
Yeah, they got and
Yeah, Matt Rule's just putting in his thing. Just
he's coming along. He'll do good in Carolina. I think he'll do good with Teddy Bridgewater as well, in my opinion.
Yeah.
All right.
If the Vikings suck anymore, I might become a Panthers fan just for Teddy.
All right.
Well, I think talk about steals. I just looked here. I forgot the Chiefs got Clyde Edwards.
That was very good.
That's good for their offense.
Yeah.
That's gonna be really good.
Darius Guss is very happy about that.
I understood why they picked him too. He's great. He can catch out of the backfield.
He's gonna be great for Patrick Mahomes. I think that's for an already like super speedy, really good offense. They're just getting better.
He's really dense.
Yeah.
He's built like a pyramid, just strong and sturdy, low center of gravity.
Well, we'll get back. We'll get to the winners and losers of the draft. We'll start off with the winners of the draft. I'll just go first this time.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think Baltimore won the draft. Like obviously it was a surprise they lost in the 1st round, but I think J.K. Dobbins getting him that late, pairing with Mark Ingram, little 1-2, I think that's going to work well. And then they filled in their other pieces. Like it's just a no-brainer. There's not really that much to say with Baltimore.
Yeah, I think Baltimore definitely improved rather than like they got better. For a team that was already really good, they just got better, and that's what you want, and they accomplished that for sure. Another team I think did really good, like we were saying, probably the Broncos. I think they they got a lot of good weapons.
I loved what they did with Drew Lock.
Yeah,
I'm biased because I love Drew Lock and I love Alberto, but I'm really excited for.
Where did Alberto go to?
What's up?
Where did Alberto go drafted to?
Denver.
Oh wow!
Yeah, they're reunited. So now
and they already have. Don't they already have Noah Font?
Yeah. So now I think what they're gonna do is just run a lot of like
Two tight end
under
packages.
center I formation or not single back. Put Melvin Gordon or Phillip Lindsay. Get the 2 tight ends, Jerry Jeudy and Cortland Sutton. I think they can be lethal this year.
Yeah, they really could.
Drew Lock
they are
last year. He came to play those last few games.
Yeah, and they're obviously in a really hard division, but
And he played well against Houston.
You definitely have to score a lot in that division. That's why the Raiders drafted a lot of speed on offense. And so everyone knows that they got to catch up with the Chiefs because they'll burn you quick.
Yeah, I think that's probably why everybody in that division kind of was offensive heavy. And
they got to compete with Mahomes and Hill and Hardman.
Yeah.
The only more complete defense I would say in that whole division is probably Denver.
Yeah, and I mean, they probably have one of the better defenses at division, and getting better on offense is only going to help them out. So I think
as long as Von Miller fully recovers.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because
he has it.
He has it. He does have the
He'll be fine.
coronavirus.
Well, what do you think? Who's your winner, Max?
I'll go with a couple since obviously I'm biased, but I think the Vikings were pretty big winners. I think Jefferson was a steal. I thought that was a great pick. Lucky for him to fall to us. I like the Gladney pick. I like, he's not too big. He's like 5'11", 5'10", but he has good ball skills. He had a ton of pass breakups, and I think if you're a good corner in the Big 12, where it's mostly passing, it's just people throwing bombs, you get a lot of practice. So I think out of any position group, a cornerback is a pretty good thing to get out of the Big 12.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm happy with him, and I like that we got a bunch of linemen because we always need help there. We never have a good line ever. Cousins always on his back, and it makes me smile.
Yeah,
I just like that we got a bunch of players, a bunch of young guys to hopefully build up and find some late round gems that blossom into Pro Bowlers, All Pros, whatever.
Yeah, I think
the Cowboys had a good draft.
Never mind.
I know you guys both hate it, but I think they had a good draft. I thought they got some good guys. Outside of Lamb, let me check. They got Diggs. That was a big pick late in the second round, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Who else did they get?
Looking here,
this is the thrilling part of the podcast.
They got
look up who they found.
Neville Gallimore, D tackle out of Oklahoma.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was pretty good. Good run stopper.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think the Cowboys had a pretty good draft. Oh, also I forgot to mention this. I like the Troy Dye pick out of Oregon. I think he's gonna be really good for us.
Who?
We need Troy Dye out of Oregon. He's a linebacker. We need help with pass coverage with linebackers. Anthony Barr should change his last name to Burnt Toast because he couldn't cover anything.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think my next question is, who do you think the loser of the draft is? But I think we're all going to agree it's the Packers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So first round, you draft the QB. Second round, you draft I believe they draft the running back second round.
They just never got a wide receiver.
They never got a wide receiver. All they had was Devontae Adams.
Aaron Rodgers is like, cool, we'll go into this draft. I'll get some help. And we're like, actually, we're getting rid of you.
Yeah. So there's obviously, they need to talk about Aaron and LaFleur. I don't know what they were thinking. Obviously, there's obviously no way that Aaron Rodgers knew about this. And I think they did this too early because, in my opinion, Aaron Rodgers still has a good 3 years left, and I can see why you want to draft now. But even next year's draft was going to have some good quarterbacks. So I would have waited because you don't want to prepare for Aaron Rodgers' departure. You rather try to see what you can get with Aaron Rodgers right now because he's still a top 5 quarterback.
I understand it though because this is the exact same thing they did with Favre.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Rodgers is just in the different opposite position now.
Yeah, but you also got to think about like the locker room and like how Aaron Rodgers feels, like, right? Because this is your star player. He's
Well,
been
he's already
carrying you
Although you
guys.
remember the last few years, all these stories have come out that Rodgers is like an
Yeah, because
asshole and
he
locker room
he
hates
seemed
him
to
and
be
stuff.
unhappy with his last coach and everything. So like tensions
Yeah,
already
he
high
hated
over there.
McCarthy.
And
Him and
like
He hated
McCarthy
him.
hated
at the
each other.
beginning of the last season, there was the trouble between him and the coach, but like they overcame it. They got to the playoffs and
He
stuff.
should have more
So
Super Bowls.
you got to think about like how is this going to impact the team, like chemistry and stuff,
Well,
right?
the Packers front office did nothing for Aaron Rodgers his entire time he was there.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't have anything.
He
And it
should
was
have.
just
He
like
should have
they're just
won
like, here, Aaron Rodgers, you have, here's one guy and have a white receiver and go be the best quarterback in the NFL. And he did. And
He did it.
eventually the wheels would fall off every year in the playoffs because it's like it's not sustainable just having
Mhm.
Aaron Rodgers go out there and be the best quarterback he can be.
I mean, yeah, and honestly, he should have won the Super Bowl. I think in 14-15. If he had not lost that game in Seattle, he would have. I think he would have crushed the Patriots.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now that guy who didn't catch the onside is not on the team anymore.
I feel bad for him. He got death threats and stuff.
Yeah, no, I do
He
too.
had a tough time.
All right,
I'll
let's
never
start
live it
with this
down.
one. Rookie of the year predictions for offense, defense, and in general rookie of the year.
Ooh, I haven't even thought
So yeah,
about
rookie
this.
of the year and defensive rookie of the year. Because they only give out 2 awards, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we can start off. We can start off with defense first.
Well, I think this is obvious, man. Chase Young.
Yeah,
I
Chase
mean,
Young.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna get a like 10 sacks plus. Like
I think
With-
Isaiah Simmons can come in a good second though. Like I think he could be a competition.
with all that defensive pressure that your D line is gonna have on and playing a weak Giants O line twice a year, like that's
I could see,
easy.
like,
Hey,
I could see-
Philly's O line's pretty weak now too. And
Yeah.
Dallas.
Although we did work out the O line, hopefully that gets way
Dallas
better.
got rid of
But
their
like
center.
you guys just have so many dogs on the D line, like it's hard for him not to do good next year, like
Mhm.
especially with all his raw talent and stuff. So
I
and-
could see Kalavion Chason from LSU doing really well in the Jaguars.
I can see C.J. Henderson doing well there too as well.
I just think that they got a lot of, like, even though Campbell left, they have Allen, they have pressure on the outside, so that I think he can just make an impact.
boys, we got some mango.
Oh God. All right. Well, I mean, yeah, I think Chase Young too, only because I mean, if you look at the comparisons he's gotten, he apparently like he's supposed to be better than Myles Garrett, and like obviously this is like what other people have said, but they're supposed to be better than Myles Garrett. He's supposed to have a season like Nick Bosa did. He's projected to be better than the Bosa brothers, and I think he'll get 10 to 12 sacks this year. And he's going to be mentored by Ryan Kerrigan, which is a big upside because Ryan Kerrigan's also been in the league a long time. He's the second all-time sacks leader in Redskins history. So, I mean, he's going to have like a real good veteran with him, and especially with that D line, probably one of the best in that, if not the best in the NFL. Like Chase Young is going to be scary, and I got him winning Defensive Player of the Year. But a close second, I'm going to say
Defensive
Isaiah
Player of the
Simmons.
Year?
No, the Rookie of the Year. Defensive Rookie of the Year. But I think Isaiah Simmons is going to come in a close second because I can see him everywhere on the field.
Ali loves Chase Young.
Yeah,
I do. I gotta be.
He
welcome
was
home.
drooling
Welcome
during
home.
that. He was like, Chase, 13
home.
sacks.
All right. Rookie of the Year. Rookie of the Year.
we haven't done no offensive.
Yeah, Rookie of the Year is usually the Offensive Player of the Year.
Oh,
Offensive Rookie of the Year. So I mean, that's gonna be hard because there's just so many great picks. It might not even be a quarterback for all we think.
J.K. Dobbins.
Oh,
Really?
sleeper pick.
I think
You don't
because
think
is Ingram still on the Ravens?
Ingram's gonna be splitting with him most likely.
I think Dobbins will eventually usurp him, and I don't know if he'll get 1,000 like rushing yards, but I think probably receiving and carrying. I think J.K. Dobbins could make some moves. He was really good at Ohio State. Made a lot of plays. He was a starter all 3 years. So he definitely has experience. So I think they have big plans for him in the future.
All right.
Hmm.
What do you think? Who you
Looking
got
at
for?
this, I feel like Jeudy might have a really big year. I think he might pop off and he might get a lot of targets in that offense.
He's gonna easily become one of the number one receivers. Where did he get drafted to? Jeudy?
He is to the Broncos.
Denver.
Yeah, I thought
So I think he'll get a lot of targets in that offense. Justin Jefferson might get a lot of targets on Minnesota with
that. I don't think rookie of the
on
year.
and stuff, but I think one of those two receivers gonna have a big year.
I think it's going to come down to Burrow and Tua only because they're going to play all 16 games. But only reason why I think Tua has like a slight edge is because in Burrow's division, it's more defense. So he's going to have a struggle every now and then. Obviously, I mean, the Bills have a great defense, and so do the Patriots. But I mean, you got Pittsburgh, you got Baltimore, like Cleveland's not even that bad at defense. Just towards the end of the year, they did. So I mean, but my sleeper would honestly be DeAndre Swift. If you want to be honest, that's why because
Where he go?
He go to I believe
The Lions.
Yeah, he went to Detroit, and then
They have Kerryon Johnson.
Yeah, but
and he's been a 1,000-yard rusher for them before.
I mean, where did Jonathan Taylor head to?
Colts. He could be really good there. I think.
Yeah, but
I think eventually Phillip Rivers, everyone's going to find out that he's too old to play, and so it's going to eventually be like, okay, let's just see what this rookie can do.
The Colts.
And if anyone can handle that kind of workload, it's Jonathan Taylor. I mean,
Yeah.
no one in this class has had nearly as much production.
As many carries as him.
Or production and carries like workload.
Mm-hmm.
Like you look at all the other guys, you look at Swift, and obviously I am biased, but you look at Swift and Dobbins.
But here's the thing about Swift.
These guys. Here's the thing: they had like 5-star receivers. They had Mecole. Like Swift was playing with Chubb. He was splitting carries with Chubb, Michelle. What's the other guy that Hathaway?
Mm-hmm.
The guy on the
Yeah. No, he was definitely sharing a lot of carries.
And then he had Jake Fromm, who could, you couldn't stack 9 in the box because Jake Fromm and Mecole Hardman, Riley Ridley, those guys would burn you over top. They couldn't, defenses couldn't do that. With Jonathan Taylor, they could because Wisconsin had no other players. It was like, okay, we'll put 9 in the box because it's Jonathan Taylor or, Jack Cohn or Alex Hornibrook.
Yeah.
You guys who you will never hear on an NFL field in a game because they stink.
But thinking about it, Swift is going to be healthier than Jonathan Taylor. Like, we think about
Taylor never missed a game or even a practice.
But we think about wear and tear. Like, he's had such a big workload while Swift has been sharing carries, chilling on the sidelines every once in a while, not getting as big of a workload as.
But you've never seen him as the true one. Just he's all like even last year he was splitting carries.
Yeah. So yeah, I think Jonathan Taylor's definitely more ready at the beginning to be a starter, be ready.
This is my personal vendetta. I feel it's very disrespectful that everyone's like, "Oh, Jonathan Taylor is the best running back in the draft."
Nah, I'd agree. I would agree on that, but
I'm surprised he fell so low. I thought he was going to go.
Either gay, regardless. My thing.
No, I knew he was going. No running backs don't go in the first round very often. You got to have like a Zeke or Saquon talent to do that.
Regardless, I think I have Tua winning review year. I just think he has more weapons and like there, and he has Fitzmagic. So
that's facts.
Can't beat the magic. Yeah.
Yo, I forgot about that. He's gonna have the best quarterback of all time.
Wait,
which means he might not even start right away though.
I mean, that'd be okay for him.
No, I think that'd be smart.
I think
that injury is pretty bad.
How much is he? Yeah, exactly. How much is he still recovering from that hip injury?
Well, apparently he's fully cleared to be on the field.
We know that,
but he's fully cleared to participate in all like off-season activities.
Yeah, but he was also cleared for like that SEC championship game that he got hurt in. He's tough, but he gets hurt.
He's had a lot of surgeries and stuff.
He does play hurt a lot, which like at Alabama, it was always just like, I don't have time to be hurt. Sort of like that I don't have time to bleed thing.
True.
Yeah. No. All right. Well,
I'm
we're
looking
almost.
at this board. Chicago drafted another tight end.
Yeah, they have 10 tight ends on the roster.
Oh, I forgot to mention this, but I thought the Saints also were losers of the draft.
Why you say that?
They didn't. I mean, they didn't have a lot of picks, but it was just a pretty like lame draft. They didn't really. I didn't notice a ton of like improvement. There weren't any like wow.
But it's like, how much help do the Saints need? You know.
I mean, they couldn't get past Kirk and the
San Francisco
Vikings. They
made
need
three
help.
trades.
Like I feel like the Saints it's been half of it's been luck, bro. Like half of their like downfall has been luck. Every
You hear
time
that, Fernie? You hear that,
it's
Fernie?
been officiating. Not luck as luck at the one they've been
pure
good, but
skill.
officiating has been screwing.
Case Keenum knew exactly what he was doing on that play, bro.
Exactly.
Diggs,
He said,
sideline,
I see him.
touchdown.
He's gonna hit that guy, and then we're gonna score, and he knew it.
You
That
knew
was
it.
luck,
And now both
Play
of them
for
aren't
play.
even on the Vikings.
dude. I
don't even know where
Case
Keenum is
back.
anymore. Keenum's not even in Washington anymore. I forgot. I don't even know where Keenum is.
He's
Is he a
probably
free
done.
agent?
He can retire, man. He can
No,
go.
he signed with another team, I'm pretty sure.
Hey, yo,
Probably
side
like
note,
Dallas or something.
these Mangos are
Oh, he
fire.
signed with the Browns.
Yee.
Then Colt McCoy, I think, went to the fucking Giants or the Eagles.
Oh, he did go to the
Wait,
Giants.
he's on the Giants. Yeah.
I
We
love
got our
Colt
backup.
McCoy.
We
It's
got
okay.
our
He
backup, boy.
don't know Ron Rivera like that.
He got our backup, boys.
Colt McCoy's the goat.
All right,
And he dies, but I have a season, boys. No sleep.
all right. We got roughly about like 10 minutes left, so I'm just gonna ask the final question. Who do you think team is improved the most? Like, who do you think is gonna who's gonna impact most from the draft this coming season?
So who improved more from the draft is the question.
Now, which team do you think this season is gonna have the most impact following from this draft?
Gotcha. Maxwell.
I think it's the Vikings. I mean, you had 60 players, you drafted 15. I think they just kind of have to with all the people that have left. They're gonna, a lot of these guys are just gonna get sort of thrown into the fire. Just kind of like we need bodies, we need people right now.
I think the team that's gonna have the biggest improvement from the draft is gonna be the Broncos. I think they're gonna be able to keep up with those offenses in that division now that they have all those weapons, and their defense is still gonna produce as they have been. And maybe Drew Lock becomes, with that experience he has from the past season, he might become even better. So I think they'll improve the most, as well as the Raiders, honestly, because they got so much speed on that offense.
The Raiders could surprise.
Yeah, they have. And last year, they played well last year with all that internal problem they had and everything. They did well. They have a top tight end. Now they have some speedy receivers. Josh Jacobs is nice at the backfield. The quarterback. He's been.
I think if they're because remember that one year he had where they went like 12-4 and he was a beast and everything. I think because that was like the most talent they'd ever had like together, like for him to work with, and they had a great O-line. I think that they're sort of slowly getting back to that level, and I think that this year, next couple years, the Raiders could be a playoff team, especially with the expanded
the new format.
Yeah, like I was saying this to somebody else, like. They were saying like, "Oh, I think I have no hope of my team making it to the playoffs." I was talking to Zach because he's a Cardinals fan
in the hardest division in the NFL.
I was like, bro, your team on the come up, and he was like, bro, there's no way we make the playoffs, and I'm like, now there's an extra playoff spot, like you could go six and like.
Well, it also depends on which Los Angeles Rams are you getting this year.
Yeah,
and which Jared Goff are you actually getting?
Means a lot.
Yeah, and I mean,
isn't Brandon Cooks gone too?
Brandon Cooks got traded to.
He's on the Texans now.
Yeah, so like they're down another guy. Like
the Texans didn't even.
They still have two.
Okay,
they still have two top receivers with
Woods and Cup.
Woods and Cup. They got Cam Akers. He could be a surprise for everyone, especially under that offense. And also, I feel like the Rams' biggest problem last year was their O-line. Like, they were
I
just,
didn't watch a lot of Rams games, being honest. I
like
only started paying attention when it mattered for playoff spots.
they were just getting to the
Did
quarterback.
not
So
play
easily.
against. Did not play well against Philly as well.
I
So
remember, didn't they lose to Dallas or something? Or
No,
did
they
they
lost
run
to
it up on
Philly.
Dallas?
I don't even think they played Dallas last
They
week.
did, because it was one of those like important weeks. Like it involved the Vikings in the wild card. That's why I was paying attention.
hey,
I
yo,
believe
I
it.
think another team that had a
I
good
remember.
draft. Now that I'm looking at these picks here, is the Jets. The Jets had a pretty good draft.
Did they?
Yeah, I
Yeah, they
mean
did.
they got Nims. I feel like
Oh
people
yeah,
are
they did
sleeping
get
on Nims.
Denzel
Like
Mims.
like Nims is nice. They got the big old tackle from Louisville. Dude's fucking huge.
Wait, they
I'm
drafted?
Becton, I think his name is.
Oh, Mekhi Becton.
McCann Becton. Yeah, like he.
the guy that they got mad at because he liked food too much.
So like they got
Like
him in the
food.
first. They were able to get Nims. I think they got some other receivers later on.
Man, I'm so sick and tired of the Jets being bad.
Yeah, like I just like they just
Jesus.
need to do something. You know, they got
Sam
late.
Darnold-
Sam Darnold's not the dude. That's what it is.
It kind of is that. Like
Yeah,
And
Sam
Adam
Darnold
Gase.
is just like
And plus, Adam
it's
Gase
looking bad
hates
for Sam
Le'Veon
Darnold.
Bell. Adam Gase just hates Le'Veon Bell.
Who do you
mean-
think's gonna be the number one pick next year? Like 1, 2, 3, whatever.
oh,
Trevor Lawrence, hands down.
No.
here's the
Team.
thing.
Team.
Oh, so he's going to be the worst team this year?
Oh,
Yeah. Like who's gonna have it?
It's hard to say because I mean a lot of teams improved. I'm probably going to have to say the Jets again.
I think could be the Falcons. I think
No,
Matt
bro.
Ryan's done. He's 1 foot in the grave, man.
but like
That is true.
that team, they always find a way to do decent end of the year. Like this year, they were falling apart.
End of the year though,
And then they had
always
their
end
bye
up with,
week, and it was like
6
the
wins.
best defense in the league after their bye. Like
Me?
they always surprise. And now I mean, unless like Todd Gurley's arthritis or whatever he has doesn't let him play again, like he might ball
Yeah,
out.
how you got arthritis as
In the league.
27-year-old?
I mean,
Yeah.
but I mean, worst record wise, like I'm probably gonna have to say the Jets again because I can't or the Jaguars.
Also, let's think about
Yeah.
how much did the Lions really improve?
They got Okuda, but I mean that was to replace Slay.
Yeah, like they lost Lake, got Okuda. Okay, what else? They got Taylor.
They got DeAndre Swift.
They got DeAndre Swift.
Detroit can be bad depending if Matthew Stafford plays or not. Is that
Yeah, his back is like messed up or whatever.
and the Colts depending on how Phillip Rivers is, but like
Oh yeah, I think the Colts are a sleeper to get Trevor Lawrence.
I wouldn't be a shocker though.
Excited that see like where he goes because there are some bad fucking teams.
It wouldn't be a shocker if he went to Atlanta, to be honest. But or
I don't know
even
that the
Patriots.
Bengals would do
Even
that
the
much better
Patriots.
either.
Even the Patriots
Yeah, but they're
got
not getting
really good.
Lawrence.
Belichick. I mean, I know Belichick is like fucking like he's preparing for something. Like, he's gonna get.
I
a
couldn't see
QB.
Belichick tanking though. I feel like Belichick always
No,
wants
I
to
couldn't
win.
see him taking two, but I think he's gonna make a big QB move within this year or the next offseason.
Wait, so you were saying the Patriots signed a QV?
They did. I don't remember who was undrafted.
Let me. Oh, they got an undrafted guy.
Yeah, I just said that.
Okay, gotcha. Who's their guy this year?
They have Brian Hoyer. They have Jared Stidham, I believe.
Mm.
And they're gonna like compete with each other. They have another QB, but I don't remember who. But
And there's just a lot of teams that like don't have like I don't see like an immediate need for a quarterback. You know,
yeah, and plus
that's
I don't
why
really
it's kind of
see-
hard to tell.
And I don't really see like a
Like maybe
team
I guess
this
I could see
year.
the Lions drafting Lawrence, Jaguars, maybe the Jets if they get tired of Darnold.
Oh, they gotta be tired of Darnold, bro.
I could
That
see see the Raiders being like running out of time with or like just
I
I mean,
being
they were
done with
looking to
Carr.
trade him this off season, right?
Because they wanted to get
It was-
Tom
there were-
Brady.
Yeah, there was talks about like getting rid of him, so they're already not the most
Yeah, well,
confident
it's
about
Tampa.
Maybe the
Derek
Carr.
Titans. I mean, I know the Titans aren't going to be bad, and they have Tannehill, but I mean,
It's not their
Tannehill's the guy that's going to win you a Super Bowl.
I mean, all I'm saying
He
is
almost got there. He
Nah,
almost
bro.
got there.
No. Tannehill's not winning the Super Bowl.
He
Bro.
almost got
he's
there.
not.
Yeah, and what
He's not.
happened? They played a team that
Yo,
fucked
where's
them up.
Mariota? Where is
He's
he
The
at?
Raiders,
on
I'm
he's on
pretty
the Raiders
sure.
now.
He's on the
He's on the
Raiders.
Raiders, yeah.
Yeah.
Bro,
Well,
Derek
all
Carr,
I'm saying
Derek Carr
is
might not even play. Let's talk about that.
expect. No, he's
Mariota
gonna play.
stinks.
He's gonna play. Gruden loves him, and he for some reason Gruden loves Peterman.
Yeah, he loves his quarterbacks. He loved Mike Glennon too.
Yeah.
I
But
wonder who they're gonna.
just
I wonder
expect
who.
Tampa to have like one of the best records for sure.
I wonder who they're gonna do the
No, I
HBO
don't
thing with.
believe that Tampa will be good.
Listen, I believe Tampa will
Bro,
be good,
come
but
on,
I don't.
man.
It's
No,
over.
Come
listen,
on, man.
I do not believe that Tampa
No,
will be good.
listen.
Are you seeing this offense? Are you seeing the same
Gronk
offense that I'm seeing?
That's not it, though. That's not it, though.
Don't become the Max Kellerman.
Gronk ain't got no knees, bro.
Don't become the Max Kellerman of this show. Talk about Tom Brady's on his downfall, bro. Tom Brady can still throw the ball.
It was
to the,
Belichick. Everyone knows it was Belichick.
anyone, bro. They can still have Winston and do good with all these weapons, man.
Well, he's on the Saints now.
They had Winston, and they sucked with all these weapons. Who did they add that was new other than Gronk?
They added a
competent QB.
They got some O-line help. That was
They got
about it.
O-line help.
Didn't they get a running back?
And Gronk
QB.
with no knees.
Wait,
I
didn't
got
Gronk-
they get a running back?
Gronk,
Bro,
bro.
Gronk is a WWE champ, man. Don't sleep.
24/7, man. That ain't-
Wait. Did they not get a running back? Or are they sticking with what's his
They're
name?
going with
I mean,
Rojo.
They have
Yeah, I thought that.
they have Barber, right?
No, Barber's on the Skins now.
They have Rojo.
There he is.
Yeah, so
Yeah, but I mean, I don't expect them to be a 13-3 team, but I expect them to be like at least
10-6 at best.
10-6
be a
at
playoff
best.
team. They're gonna be a playoff team.
I think they'll go 9-7.
They'll be a playoff team, fine, but I don't think they're not going to be this godsend that everyone's hyping them up to be.
I mean,
I don't buy it.
If they had gotten
Tom Brady's
if they would have gotten a wide receiver with their first round pick, then they probably would have been 13-3 team.
It was Belichick.
a wide
man.
receiver.
Because there was reports they would get.
What they need a wide receiver for,
slot.
bro?
How bad you need a 3 though?
They don't need it.
Yeah, come on, man.
They're losing OJ Howard.
They have that fast guy, right? The fast like white boy or whatever.
Humphreys?
He's not fast.
They had some fast slot
He's short.
that was getting catches.
Godwin?
No, Godwin can play the slot.
You can
First of all, Godwin's good enough to play the slot, but I know they have a slot guy. He's a quick dude that they had on their team. I can't think of his name.
Watch Edelman go to the Bucks next.
Honestly, would be. I think Bruce Arians,
the Tampa Bay Patriots.
Bruce Arians, I feel like he can work better with Brady for some reason, because Arians is more of a player guy.
I feel like throughout the whole
I feel like Arians
season,
is racist, and that's why they want to help win.
the whole season is gonna be about is Tom Brady good without Belichick?
Speaking of
that's
Tom
gonna be
Brady,
the whole story of this season.
Tom Brady,
if we have a season, let's
Tom
hope we
Brady
can go.
I want to have a
be a
season so
Buccaneer.
I can watch Tom Brady die.
Let's hope we can go outside.
He's gonna get fucking wrecked.
All right, well, that's been the podcast. Any words before we end it?
We miss you, Jed. We miss you, Fernie.
If you guys don't know,
we're missing some fellow podcasts.
We'll have 2 new people on the next podcast.
Both of them said yes, and then both of them said no later.
They flake.
They flake. They flaked. I know this has been an hour. I don't know how y'all interpret.
We really talked for an hour.
Yeah.
I
don't know how many people are
we're
gonna see this or not, but I mean, if you enjoyed it, let us know. If there's stuff we can improve on, let us know in the comments. We're not gonna. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but it's not just all gonna be about sports. So we'll switch it up every now and then.
Oh no, we're talking about
and
random shit too. Don't worry about it.
And we don't have the name for this podcast yet, so think of
Bro,
we
don't have a name?
Hashtag
We don't have a name, no.
Swag.
Hashtag
what?
That's not the name.
Heck no.
What about Booty Bandits Incorporated?
Oh, dude, that's the name. That's
No,
the
it's
name.
not.
Booty,
No, it's
it's
not. I will
booty,
not.
it's
I
gonna
will
be.
not be associated with the
It's gonna be
Yeah,
Booty
I can
Bandits.
demonetize.
Booty Bandits. Booty
Hey,
Bandits podcast.
hey,
I will
I'm not
not
trying to
be. I will not be
demonetize.
associated with the Booty
Hey yo,
Bandits.
join the clan on COD. Booty Bandits
No.
Incorporated.
We don't. We're not
Oh,
saying
no,
clan either.
No.
We're not saying join the clan. Don't join the clan.
Oh wait, yeah.
Don't join. Oh,
Do not
oh,
join the
no.
clan.
But
Don't be
yeah,
like a
we hope.
Patriots kicker.
Listen. This is meant to be a fun thing. I know this
Yeah.
episode was kind of serious, talking about sports and
Yeah.
stuff, but we're
I mean, it
gonna
was
try
serious,
to,
half not, half. But,
yeah.
you know,
We're gonna try to,
and
talk about
obviously,
some things
obviously
from
it's
around the world.
quarantine.
Funny shit.
Obviously, it's quarantine, so don't infect yourself with Lysol because it's so stupid. So
Yo, just drink bleach, bro. I'll be all right.
no, we're gonna get a news
Man,
report. I'm
drink
gonna get an
bleach, join the
email
clan.
saying
Waterloo's
you
having
got
a
someone
fucking
killed.
day.
No, don't do that.
I'm on one, bro. But thank you for watching. And
Yeah.
now. I'm
And
gonna
hail
get us in
Satan.
more trouble.